I think it's like one of those things where you forget about, like when you get really involved in a career, you forget about self-care and you forget about like taking care of yourself. Because especially like with something like with TV where the money is so enticing and it feeds your ego, right? You get so like hung up on like, I want to be important, you know, I want to like have a show. I want to be a star or whatever. You start to neglect like enriching yourself and doing the things that like make you feel better. And I think that was the same thing for my kids. Yeah. When I came here, I was like, yeah, these savages who beat me up and, you know, and we say that, but we say that in a loving manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, all my close friends are all from jiu-jitsu, from us trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
There's a certain bond, right? That kind of never... people that don't do it can't understand.
Yeah, you know, I did a show recently in Boulder. I was doing the show, and the door guy, I do this bit about cauliflower ear where I make fun of cauliflower ear, and he heard the bit. His ears were all gnarled up, and I was like, he mentioned, he was like, that joke's so funny, and I was like, do you wrestle? And no, I take jiu-jitsu. I train at Easton Boulder.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man. I talked to that dude for the rest of the evening. I didn't talk to any other comics. I'd rather sit around and talk to him about jiu-jitsu, and we talked about him being an artist, and it's instantly like this bond thing. And when I travel doing stand-up, I'm by myself. You know, I mean, I fly to a city and I'm alone. But I bought, like, Showy Roll had that undefeated gi that was like canvas.
Yeah.
And it packs up like that. I could put it in like one of those little plastic ones and suck the air out of it so it gets that thin. I bring that everywhere. And I went to like Gracie Baja, Edmonton. I went to Black Flag Jiu-Jitsu in Phoenix, Arizona. I just bring it and I call the jiu-jitsu place nearby and I'm like, hey, I'm a comic. I'm here. And those people always come to shows afterwards. They'll be like, dude, I'll come to your show. Like, give them tickets, and I keep in touch with them throughout the time. You know, that to me is what makes you don't feel alone. I don't know if that makes sense, but totally. Yeah, you know, totally. Sorry, I'm scattered. That's why the album's called Scattered. But I get tangential. I know you would ask the credit.
You feel connected. Yeah, you feel connected.
It's
feel strong. Yeah, you feel strong.
Yeah,
you have your brothers. You have your family with you.
Yeah, and I think especially relating to like the things that I mentioned when I was a kid, there was a feeling like the stuff that happened when I was younger. For whatever reason and things that I've worked through, there wasn't anything done about it. When I had finally confessed and told people about what had happened, it was just a different time. And but as an adult, I was like, no, it's not going to happen to me again. Like this is something where, hey, like, listen, I may not want to fight, but I'm going to take something from you. You're not going to get out of this scot-free. And that like felt empowering. And I think for people who may have experienced abuse of a certain kind when they were younger, I think that the martial arts and particularly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because it puts you at odds with your fears of like being in close quarters with people and things like that and confronting that. I think that's a huge thing. It's an empowerment thing. Like it's not going to happen again. Yeah. You know, you can say that, like,
changes your mindset, changes all those.
Yeah. You learn to be a wolf again, you know, you learn to like,
instead of being a victim.
Yeah. And I mean, people are victims of things. That does happen. And you can hopefully at some point change the narrative that was one thing that I loved. Like the first guy that I took Japanese jiu-jitsu, I remember telling him that I was a pacifist because I didn't like fighting. And I remember it was my sensei, his name was Roland Raymer, and he was like, that's too bad. And I was like,
that's too bad.
He was like, what? And I'm like, what? What do you, never heard anybody mock being a pacifist. And he was like, pacifists never find peace because they're always at odds with the idea of violence. He's like, the only true way to find peace is to understand violence happens and to learn how to handle it, and then you walk with peace. Because then you're not at odds with the idea that it's going to happen to you. You know that if it comes, so be it. I'll deal with it if I have to. If it doesn't, great. I don't ever want to fight. I don't ever want to be in a skirmish or a fight. And I've found that most of the people in this are more pacifistic
Yeah,
than.
yeah. You don't want to.
Yeah, they're like make fun of themselves, and they'll, you know what I mean. They're goofy because you find yourself getting more comfortable with yourself. You know.